Ladies and gentlemen, imagine this: just 40 minutes today could shape the next 40 years of your life. Sounds impossible? It's not. Because real transformation happens in small, consistent steps, not overnight miracles. We often overestimate what we can do in a day, but underestimate what we can do in a decade. What if I told you that the life you dream of is not beyond reach, it just requires intentional action today? This idea aligns perfectly with Dr. Jordan Peterson's principles of personal responsibility, discipline, and meaning. So today, let's talk about how investing just 40 minutes right now can lay the foundation for a future of purpose, strength, and success. Taking responsibility for your life is the foundation of meaningful change. It is easy to fall into the habit of blaming circumstances, society, or other people for our struggles. However, the moment you acknowledge that your life is your responsibility, you regain control. Dr. Jordan Peterson emphasizes this idea with a simple but powerful rule. Stand up straight with your shoulders back. While this may seem like just a statement about posture, it represents a much deeper psychological truth. Your physical stance reflects your internal state. When you slump, avoid eye contact, and withdraw, you signal defeat not just to the world but to yourself. When you straighten up and take ownership of your existence, you communicate strength, confidence, and a willingness to face life head-on. Personal responsibility means accepting that no matter what has happened to you in the past, it is up to you to shape your future. It does not mean ignoring real hardships or pretending that injustices don't exist. It means recognizing that even in the face of adversity, you always have a choice in how you respond. Many people remain stuck because they wait for external changes, better circumstances, a more understanding society, or the right opportunity. But what if that change never comes? Are you willing to remain stagnant, waiting for something outside of your control? Or will you take charge and create your own progress? One of the most empowering realizations in life is that you are stronger than you think. Many people underestimate their ability to improve their situation. They assume that they lack the intelligence, resources, or talent to succeed. However, history is full of individuals who overcame far worse conditions than what most people experience. The difference between those who rise and those who remain stuck is not luck. It is the decision to take action, no matter how small, toward a better life. Taking responsibility starts with self-reflection. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" a more productive question is, "What can I do about this?" Even if a problem is largely outside of your control, there is always some aspect that you can influence. If you're struggling financially, you might not be able to change the economy, but you can develop new skills, budget better, or look for opportunities to earn more. If your relationships are strained, you may not be able to change how others behave, but you can work on your own communication, patience, and understanding. Even in the most difficult situations, personal responsibility means focusing on your ability to act rather than waiting for the world to fix itself. People often resist responsibility because it comes with pressure. If you acknowledge that your life is up to you, then failure is your fault. That can be terrifying. But the flip side is that success is also within your reach. This is the paradox of personal responsibility. While it demands effort and self-discipline, it is also the path to true freedom. When you stop waiting for someone else to change your circumstances and start making changes yourself, you unlock a new level of potential. The sooner you accept responsibility, the sooner you can begin creating the life you want. Having a clear goal is essential for personal growth and long-term success. Without a specific direction, people often drift through life reacting to circumstances rather than shaping their own futures. Dr. Jordan Peterson emphasizes the importance of setting a clear target, stating that you cannot hit a target you do not aim at. This idea is simple yet profound. If you do not define what you want, how can you possibly achieve it? Many people fail to take control of their lives simply because they have not taken the time to decide what they truly want or where they are headed. When you set a goal, you give yourself a destination. Think of life as a journey. If you do not know where you are going, any road will take you somewhere, but not necessarily where you want to be. Without a plan, people often end up in places they never intended to go, wondering how they got there. On the other hand, when you have a clear goal, your daily decisions become easier because you can evaluate whether each action brings you closer to or further from your desired outcome. A crucial part of setting goals is making them specific and measurable. Many people say they want to be successful, happy, or financially stable, but these are vague statements. What does success look like for you? How will you know when you have achieved happiness? Instead of saying, I want to be in better shape, a more effective goal would be, I will work out for 30 minutes 5 times a week. Instead of saying, I want to be rich, a clearer goal would be, I will save $500 a month and invest in a long-term financial plan. Clarity leads to action, and action leads to results. Another key element of goal setting is breaking down big ambitions into small, achievable steps. Many people get overwhelmed because they focus only on the end result, which can seem unattainable. If your goal is to write a book, thinking about writing 300 pages might feel impossible, but writing 1 page a day is manageable. If you want to improve your career, focusing on a 5-year plan can seem daunting, but learning 1 new skill this month is achievable. By taking small, consistent steps, progress becomes inevitable. It is also important to review and adjust your goals regularly. Life is unpredictable and sometimes priorities change. Setting a goal does not mean locking yourself into a rigid plan that cannot be adjusted. Instead, it means having a clear direction while remaining flexible enough to adapt as new opportunities or challenges arise. Successful people constantly evaluate their progress and make necessary adjustments to stay on track. Change does not happen overnight, and the key to meaningful transformation is to start with small, manageable improvements. Many people fail to improve their lives because they focus too much on the enormity of the task ahead. They look at successful individuals and assume they must take drastic measures to achieve similar results. However, as Dr. Jordan Peterson often emphasizes, fix what you can fix. This means that instead of attempting to overhaul your entire life in one go, you should focus on small changes that are within your control. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing that change has to be immediate and dramatic. They set unrealistic expectations and become discouraged when they do not see instant results. However, real progress is gradual. If you decide to improve your health, for example, you do not have to commit to an intense workout program right away. Instead, you could start by walking for 10 minutes a day. Once that becomes a habit, you can increase the intensity. Over time, these small improvements compound into significant change. This principle applies to all areas of life. If your finances are a mess, you do not have to become a financial expert overnight. Start by tracking your expenses for a week. Then, set a small budget for unnecessary spending. If your relationships need improvement, you do not have to become the perfect communicator immediately. You can start by genuinely listening more during conversations or expressing appreciation more often. The key is to make small, manageable changes that build momentum. One of the reasons starting small is so effective is that it eliminates the paralysis of overwhelming goals. When people think about changing their lives, they often feel stuck because the gap between where they are and where they want to be seems too large. However, when they focus on what they can do today, the process becomes much more manageable. This approach shifts the focus from what is out of reach to what is possible. Consistency is another crucial factor in this process. Making one small improvement today might not seem significant, but doing it every day over weeks, months, or years leads to massive results. The idea of compounding effort is powerful. Small, consistent actions accumulate over time, creating long-term transformation. If you improve by just 1% every day, the effect over a year is monumental. Another benefit of starting small is that it builds confidence. When people set enormous goals and fail to meet them, they feel discouraged and often give up entirely. But when they achieve small victories, they gain confidence in their ability to improve. Success creates momentum. A person who successfully reads for 10 minutes a day will eventually feel capable of reading for an hour. A person who starts waking up 15 minutes earlier may find it easier to eventually wake up an hour earlier. Telling the truth, especially to yourself, is one of the most difficult yet powerful actions you can take in life. Many people avoid the truth because it is uncomfortable. They lie to themselves about their habits, relationships, goals, and responsibilities because facing reality is painful. However, as Dr. Jordan Peterson emphasizes, if you tell the truth, or at least don't lie, you align yourself with reality. When you distort the truth, you create a false version of the world, and living in a false world leads to suffering, failure, and stagnation. Self-deception is one of the most dangerous forms of lying. People tell themselves they are fine when they are not, that their bad habits are not a problem, or that their lack of progress is due to bad luck rather than their own actions. But deep down, they know the truth. The more they ignore it, the more anxious and directionless they become. Avoiding the truth does not eliminate problems, it only delays and amplifies them. The longer someone ignores reality, the worse their situation gets. Being honest with yourself requires courage. It means admitting your flaws, acknowledging where you have fallen short, and accepting responsibility for your choices. This can be painful because it forces you to confront aspects of yourself that you may not like. However, it is also liberating because it allows you to take control of your life. When you tell yourself the truth, you can start making real changes. If you keep lying to yourself, you will stay stuck in the same patterns forever. One of the most important ways to practice truthfulness is by evaluating your actions honestly. Many people have goals but engage in behaviors that contradict them. They might say they want to be successful but waste hours every day on distractions. They might say they want to be healthier but make excuses for skipping exercise and eating poorly. Instead of pretending these contradictions do not exist, it is better to confront them head on. Ask yourself, are my actions aligning with my goals? If they are not, you need to either change your actions or be honest about the fact that you are not truly committed to your goal. Another area where truth is crucial is in relationships. Many people tolerate unhealthy relationships because they are afraid of confrontation or being alone. They pretend that things are fine even when they are deeply unhappy. They stay in friendships, jobs, or romantic relationships that drain them, hoping things will improve without taking action. However, if you are honest about what you truly feel, you gain clarity. You can start making decisions that lead to a better life rather than staying stuck in situations that do not serve you. Telling the truth does not mean being harsh or unkind. It means being real, both with yourself and others. It means acknowledging what is not working and having the courage to address it. It is uncomfortable at first, but it is the only way to live a life of integrity and growth. The more truthful you are, the more power you have to change your life. The people you surround yourself with have a profound impact on your life. Dr. Jordan Peterson emphasizes this by stating, "Make friends with people who want the best for you." This principle is often overlooked, but it is one of the most crucial factors in determining personal growth, success, and overall well-being. Many people remain stuck in negative cycles simply because they surround themselves with individuals who drag them down rather than lift them up. If you want to improve your life, you must carefully evaluate the people in it and ensure they align with your goals and values. On the other hand, surrounding yourself with the right people creates an entirely different outcome. When you associate with individuals who are ambitious, disciplined, and supportive, their mindset becomes contagious. They push you to grow, encourage your efforts, and inspire you to set higher standards for yourself. Being around people who strive for excellence naturally makes you want to do the same. If you want to be more successful, spend time with successful people. If you want to be healthier, surround yourself with those who prioritize health. The people in your life should reflect the type of person you aspire to become. Another important aspect of choosing the right people is understanding the difference between real friends and toxic ones. A real friend wants the best for you. They celebrate your achievements, offer honest advice, and stand by you during difficult times. A toxic friend, however, is more concerned with keeping you at their level. They may act supportive on the surface, but subtly undermine your confidence or discourage you from pursuing bigger goals. If someone consistently makes you feel bad about yourself or holds you back, you need to ask yourself whether that relationship is worth maintaining. Choosing the right people does not mean abandoning everyone who is struggling. It means being mindful of who influences you. You can support and care for others without letting their negativity shape your mindset. However, your core circle, the people you spend the most time with, should be those who encourage you to grow rather than hold you back. Ultimately, the people in your life either push you toward success or pull you toward mediocrity. By carefully choosing those who inspire, support, and challenge you, you create an environment that fosters growth. Your relationships should be a source of strength, not an obstacle to overcome. The better your circle, the better your future. The people you surround yourself with have a profound impact on your life. Dr. Jordan Peterson emphasizes this by stating, "Make friends with people who want the best for you." This principle is often overlooked, but it is one of the most crucial factors in determining personal growth, success, and overall well-being. Many people remain stuck in negative cycles simply because they surround themselves with individuals who drag them down rather than lift them up. If you want to improve your life, you must carefully evaluate the people in it and ensure they align with your goals and values. The first step in applying this principle is recognizing that your environment shapes you. If you are constantly around people who are unmotivated, cynical, or self-destructive, it is nearly impossible to maintain ambition and positivity. Their attitudes and behaviors will gradually influence you, even if you do not realize it. Negative people often discourage growth because your improvement highlights their stagnation. They may mock your goals, minimize your achievements, or pressure you to engage in unhealthy behaviors. Over time, this can make you feel guilty for wanting more out of life and cause you to settle for less than you are capable of achieving. On the other hand, surrounding yourself with the right people creates an entirely different outcome. When you associate with individuals who are ambitious, disciplined, and supportive, their mindset becomes contagious. They push you to grow, encourage your efforts, and inspire you to set higher standards for yourself. Being around people who strive for excellence naturally makes you want to do the same. If you want to be more successful, spend time with successful people. If you want to be healthier, surround yourself with those who prioritize health. The people in your life should reflect the type of person you aspire to become. Another important aspect of choosing the right people is understanding the difference between real friends and toxic ones. A real friend wants the best for you. They celebrate your achievements, offer honest advice, and stand by you during difficult times. A toxic friend, however, is more concerned with keeping you at their level. They may act supportive on the surface, but subtly undermine your confidence or discourage you from pursuing bigger goals. If someone consistently makes you feel bad about yourself or holds you back, you need to ask yourself whether that relationship is worth maintaining. Choosing the right people does not mean abandoning everyone who is struggling. It means being mindful of who influences you. You can support and care for others without letting their negativity shape your mindset. However, your core circle, the people you spend the most time with, should be those who encourage you to grow rather than hold you back. Ultimately, the people in your life either push you toward success or pull you toward mediocrity. By carefully choosing those who inspire, support, and challenge you, You create an environment that fosters growth. Your relationship should be a source of strength, not an obstacle to overcome. The better your circle, the better your future. Life is full of hardship, and suffering is an unavoidable part of the human experience. However, how you respond to suffering determines whether you grow stronger or become overwhelmed by despair. Dr. Jordan Peterson emphasizes that rather than trying to avoid suffering, you should aim to find meaning in it. He argues that if you have a why, you can bear almost any how. This means that when you attach a deeper purpose to your struggles, they become more bearable and you emerge stronger on the other side. Many people spend their lives trying to minimize pain, seeking comfort and ease wherever possible. While it is natural to avoid suffering, making it your primary focus leads to a shallow, unfulfilled life. The reality is that life will bring difficulties regardless of your efforts to avoid them. People lose loved ones, face financial hardships, battle illness, and experience failure. No one is exempt. Trying to live a pain-free life is not only impossible, but also prevents growth. True strength comes from learning how to carry your burden, not from trying to escape it. One of the most effective ways to endure suffering is to attach it to a meaningful purpose. People who find meaning in their struggles can endure incredible hardship. Parents who wake up every night to care for a newborn do not see it as suffering, but as an act of love. Athletes who push through grueling training do not see it as unbearable pain, but as a necessary step toward greatness. Those who work tirelessly to build a better future for their families do not see their sacrifices as misery, but as an investment in something greater than themselves. The problem arises when suffering appears pointless. If people believe their pain has no purpose, they become bitter, resentful, and lost. This is why having a higher goal is essential. It gives direction to suffering and makes it bearable. If you are struggling in a difficult job, remind yourself that the skills and discipline you gain will lead to better opportunities. If you are going through heartbreak, remind yourself that the experience will teach you valuable lessons about love, relationships, and yourself. If you face failure, see it as a stepping stone rather than a dead end. When suffering has meaning, it transforms from something to avoid into something that strengthens you. Taking responsibility for your suffering is also crucial. Many people fall into the trap of blaming others, society, or fate for their hardships. While external factors play a role in life, focusing too much on what is outside of your control leads to victimhood. Instead, you must accept responsibility for how you respond to hardship. You cannot always control what happens to you, but you can control how you react. Choosing to face suffering with resilience, courage, and purpose turns you into a stronger, wiser, and more capable person. Ultimately, life will always be difficult, but you have the power to decide whether suffering destroys you or shapes you into someone greater. Finding meaning in suffering transforms pain into a tool for growth. And through that growth, you create a life worth living.